Hey everybody, what's up? It's me, it's Pete. I'm bringing you another edition of Pete Plays Tyranny. And today we are going into the Lethian's Crossing Spire. So, I'm pretty excited. I hope you guys are too. Let's go forth. This is one of my classic pre-work Let's Plays, so only have a limited amount of time. We'll see how things go. This may have to be split into two parts, depending on how this spire goes.
Have a look here.
Ooh. Sure. Take that loot. No, we can't take any more campfires. That looks like a portal of some kind. There's some items in here. Looks like some valuables.
Sorry, I can't.
Let's look around a little bit more before we move on. I want to at least look at the entire map area. These floor stones have been broken recently. Bits of metal would suggest it's the result of careless soldiers.
Can't do that.
This sunken relief, though heavily damaged, is clearly meant to depict a runic symbol similar to the one you saw at Ascension Hall. The relief is incomplete, and thus the final form of the rune is unknown. Pressing coal to parchment, you capture a blurry but proportionate image of the ancient relief. With enough collected imprints, it may be possible to reconstruct the original shape of the rune. As you work, Lantry hovers near. See how that pattern looks broken along two edges? I think there's more to the engraving than what's here. Finish the tracing, then we'll look for more. Lantry nods. Agreed. If we collect enough sketches and imprints, we could no doubt reconstruct the original image in its entirety. What's this? Spire. That's for building the spire. Got an item over here.
That wasn't so hard.
Got some more items. A lot more just valuable little trinkets. Looks like the only way to progress is over here. Information.
Can you feel it? There's power here. We should explore.
The chamber immediately reminds you of Ascension Hall. An intricate rune along the floor can only mean one thing. You stand at the feet of a great spire. Each step you take echoes across a great distance. As you gaze upward, the sage-colored walls quickly give way to unending blackness. The rune in the center of the floor is inactive, and the silence of the hall offers no clues as to its use or function. You feel a slight tug on your chest, a faint echo in the energy that enveloped you at Vendrine's Well. Hold a moment, Lantry bellows, the comment louder than needed, smiling as he hears his voice echo through the massive chamber. If my sense of direction is at all reasonable, we are standing below the spire in this region. What do you know of the spires? Lantry raises an eyebrow. About as much as you, I'm afraid. Until our time at Vendrine's Well, I didn't realize there were ways to access the upper reaches. Speaking of which, I'm certain there's a way to access the top of this spire as well. Let's keep our eyes out for sigils or glyphs nearby. What do you recommend? Lantry points at the pattern on the floor. I'd start with the grooves and stones on the floor over there. If it's like the spire at Vendrian's Well, whomever built this created a mystical conduit to the top. And I'd think it very, very unlikely that this pattern is purely decorative. Let's press on.
If I had a copper ring for every glyph I've sketched today.
We look at this again. These grooves in the floor are inlaid with a dim incandescent material that glimmers upon closer inspection. They appear to intersect at various angles, forming a myriad of potential shapes similar to the rubbing you found. Huh. Okay. What's this? This is another rune. Pressing cold to parchment, you capture a blurry but proportionate image of the ancient relief. Though the drawn rune remains incomplete, it seems that the completed design is symmetrical in nature. Should the need arise, you could reasonably guess its original shape. Is it in our inventory? The rune? Doesn't look like it. I'm not seeing it. I think it would be in Baasvik's inventory. Less party stashed? Yeah, there it is. Okay. I think we could take a reasonable guess at that. Goes from a back corner. It's a triangle intersecting a triangle.
No reason to tarry. Let's have it then. Let's have it then.
Okay, Barrick. Need you to chill out, bro. Is that right? Did I get it? No? I think maybe the circle needs to be completed as well. Looked like the circle might have meant something. There we go. We're reaching the top of the spire. We solved the puzzle of looking at the glyph and knowing what shape it was. We're here. The arcane light courses skyward, trailing off toward the horizon in the direction of Vendrian's Well. You feel the ground ripped out from beneath you, yet again as you drift back into the warmth of the energy surrounding you. Your awareness stretches beyond the limits of the spire, pulling in many directions at once. The light you saw arcing through the sky reminds you of the tether you feel to the top of Vendrian's Well. This too is a point of connection, and you are an inextricable part of it. Bound as surely as the spires are to each other. The Sunset Spire in Lethian's Crossing feels burdened by its age, as if a central linchpin somewhere in its core has weathered the centuries of oppressive weight and longs to topple. The surge of energy that courses through you, forming a link with Vendrian's Well, strengthens the very stones beneath your feet. The structural weakness you detected vanishes, replaced by confidence that could keep this tower standing for millennia. And tell me where you're writing from, Lantry speaks aloud as he pens a missive, and how to reach you, and I will send you an iron ring for your troubles. He signs his name with a flourish, and then tosses the parchment into the wind. In the blink of an eye, the heavy currents carry the slip of parchment eastward. I had this idea of a message in a bottle without the bottle. Maybe it'll work. Barrick says, From here, even the old walls seem paltry. This sovereign view was not intended for the likes of us. Barrick shakes his head slowly. Siren says, "Who knew that all this was up here while I sat below, wasting my time trying to gather a group of followers from the refugees in Lethian's Crossing? The untapped power in the Spires is astounding. I must find out how to get some." Spire feels like a relay between you and Vendrine's Well, bridging some transference of energy on an enormous scale. You are the first link of a chain that stretches the length of the realm. As you struggle to understand this sensation, you grow aware of the whispers all around you. Listen closer. The whispers themselves seem to travel down the tether between you and your spires, conducting heat that feels at times unbearable. They speak of your actions, your choices, everything that led you to this place. Your name is known, your banner recognized, your deeds reported across the tiers and the Northern Empire alike. For an instant, you can see the accumulated hope and fear these whispers represent. It appears like dewdrops settling on a leaf, then trickling into a shared basin. This image is fed to you through your connection, a base metaphor that only hints at the true scope. There is power in these spires, though its source is unfamiliar. Were you to harness it, you suspect that nothing would stand beyond your reach. I could say, I feel strange. I don't have enough lore to meet that requirement. Or I could say, I don't know what this is, but I like it. I don't know what this is, but I like it. I don't know what you've done, but standing near you warms my rusted plates. Makes me feel lighter somehow. Curious. I'm noting something I also observed at the Spire in Vendrine's Well. There's a mist to come, and it has little beats when you walk, tiny fluctuations when you talk. Unless my senses are deceiving me, you and the Spires are mystically attuned to each other. Most fascinating indeed. A quill pen appears in his hand, and the old sage begins furiously jotting notes on his arm. I feel it too. The air is thick up here, isn't it? Exactly the opposite of what you'd expect. The magic up here is almost a physical presence. End conversation. So let's read this. We got another spire, the Sunset Spire. You've acquired a second spire. All spires are linked, allowing you to travel instantly between them. This will reduce your travel time through the tiers. You can upgrade spires you discover, building new structures on top of them. Each upgrade will provide you with different benefits. Click the spire icon or press H to select an upgrade for your new spire. Upgrades take time and money to build, and money to maintain. If you no longer have the money to maintain an upgrade, it will be suspended and you will no longer receive its benefits until you are able to pay its maintenance costs. There are 5 resources you can find in Kairos' tiers that can be used to power upgrades to your spire. There are scrolls, iron ingots, bronze ingots, alchemy supplies, and hide. Each upgrade uses different resources. Okay. So we could, I guess it's time to start looking at this stuff. We can kind of hire recruits for the Mountain Spire, and then for the Sunset Spire, it seems like we can build stuff, which is cool. Library. Constructing a library on a spire allows you to research magical knowledge, edicts, and artifacts. Once built, resting in any spire grants a bonus to lore and all magic skills. Constructing training grounds allows you to recruit the finest skilled trainers in the tiers. Once built, resting in any spire grants a bonus to accuracy, athletics, and subterfuge. Forge. The Forge upgrade allows you to improve weapons and armor and forge powerful new items. Once built, resting in any spire grants a bonus to armor, parry, and dodge. Or the Infirmary. The Infirmary allows you to brew potions and other consumables. Once built, resting in any spire grants a bonus to endurance, will, and magic defense. I think I'm going to build at least 2 of these. We're building a library. Cool. The whole thing is different now, which is awesome. Sage Garrus is here. Greetings, Fatebinder. The sage bows low before you, the quills in his hood brushing the ground. Who are you and how did you get into my spire? He takes a cautious step back. Kagaris, I'm your scribe and researcher. I've heard great things about you, about this place. The library here is incredible, if you don't mind my saying so. He quails back with uncertainty and fear. When I heard about the library you were building, I just had to come. I watched the workers as they hauled the stone and scrolls up here. There was an awful lot, and they were just very tired, so I did what little I could to assist. Then on the last day, as everyone was leaving, I just stayed behind. I don't remember hiring you. Well, if you want to hold strictly to the truth, you didn't. But I never let details like that stop me in the past. Sage Tacitus always encouraged me to show ambition ahead of restraint. And I am nothing, if not a student of good advice. He straightens his posture and clears his throat. With your permission, of course. So you just invited yourself into the mix. Lantry wipes his brow, leaving a sepia streak. Ah, such foolhardy initiative reminds me of a younger me. It's amazing I still have my teeth, considering what a fucking twit I used to be. Oh, who am I kidding? Still am. Someone certainly thinks highly of himself, doesn't he? You're in the presence of the Fatebinder and the Archon of Song. What gives you the impression we even want you here? Why are you here? I take it you'll need someone to organize this collection of scrolls. Someone to catalog new texts as you discover them, and someone to organize research efforts. As your scribe, I can do all three. In fact, I'm excited to get started. I've already started looking through your collection, and he cuts himself off and sighs. To be honest, I need the work. The Vellum Citadel isn't exactly up to its old standards, and I'm afraid there aren't many safe places where Sage can find employ during the war. What can you research for me? Oh, any number of topics. Magic, alchemy, the history of the world. You have an impressive collection, not as large as the Vellum Citadel, perhaps, but no sense in crying over burnt parchment. I've started compiling a list of possible research topics. Allow me to show you. Okay, so we can research things. We need more recruits, though, and scrolls. Okay. That's cool. Now, is that all I can build here? I thought I might be able to build multiple, but... nope, library's permanent. That's fine. I can cope with that. So I need, like... Well, I don't have any scrolls, so... I'm not sure what kind of scrolls they want. Oh, just that type of scroll. Okay.
Interesting.
Hopefully I didn't throw any away earlier.
Let's do that.
There's 3 more. Aw, they're so nice. They start me off with a bunch of scrolls. We should probably hire enough recruits to do one upgrade. So we can have him research artifacts or items. I think we'll do artifacts. What do I need for that? 8 scrolls and 4 recruits. Okay. So let's hire some people. We have the money. You can get a merchant with a collection of rare magical scrolls. Skill trainer teaches lore, control fire, control frost, and control lightning. Scribe or lore seeker who regularly provides scrolls to further research. Let's do that. Seems like it'll accelerate our research. Okay. We could do Lithos, a skill trainer who teaches control stone, control atrophy, and control force. Erastus, a master trainer who teaches control stone, control force, and the use of the magic staff. Noxia, a skill trainer who teaches subterfuge and use of the magic staff. I think I'll get her. Let's hire the 2 most basic ones. Okay. So we hired a bunch of recruits. Can we do the research now? Yeah. Okay. We are researching artifacts here. So what can we hire in the other place? We can get a merchant. That sounds good. I don't want to waste too much of my money. And I hire Sastus. A skill trainer teaches unarmed attack, parry, dodge, and subterfuge. That seems awesome. I'm definitely going to do that. And then I might as well hire the cheap guy, I suppose. Yeah. So we could immediately travel to a flyer. We have a missive. Fatebinder Rogalius seems to have sent us something. My dear Baasvik, the court is all abuzz with the news of the Civil War. Representatives from the corps and the disfavored are having little shouting matches in front of Tunan. The petitioners to the court seem swept up in talks of who will crush whom and if and when Tunan will bring down the gavel and stop the fighting. What has me more intrigued is the other story of out of Vendrian's Well. Tunan sends you on what I thought was going to be a one-way trip to the well. And not only do you live, you somehow claim the mountain spire. And you broke Kairos' edict, too. Such things make a civil war seem so trivial in comparison, at least to those who can separate the message from the noise. Tell me, what was it like to break the edict, and how it is you took control of the spire? Replies. Explain the best you can. Dear Regalis, Kairos' edict simply said that an agent of the Overlord must claim Ascension Hall before Kairos' Day of Swords. The only thing I consciously did was take charge of the battle to claim Ascension Hall. My claiming of the Spire happened just moments after I felt the edict's grip release. The floor of Ascension Hall gave way, unearthing a glowing pattern buried beneath the chamber floor. Kairos only knows how long it's been buried under the tile. As for how I actually claim the Spire, it is perhaps a mutual bond. Atop the Spire is an old structure, a twin-tined edifice. I'll include a sketch on the back of the parchment. The structure spoke to me in sensations and images, and it seems to respond to my presence in somewhat limited capacity. That is what happened, as best as I can think to describe it. Does any of this sound familiar, or bring to mind any stories or rumors? Send it. Goodbye, missive. Sweet missive. We have something to do with our characters. Lantry. Lantry leveled up. So let's up his quickness to get his better spell cooldowns. And then we're gonna keep with preservation. He could become a gifted healer, which seems good. He can gain the skill Arcane Shield. Let's make him a gifted healer. So now he's a super gifted healer. Great. Okay. Let's look at our quests, because I got to figure out where to go next. Seats of Power. We've gotten 2 out of 5 spires, and that's our goal. The 2 you have claimed have proven to be a valuable asset to the war effort in the tiers. Claiming the rest should help you widen your conquest. Cool. Dissonance of War. You've been directed by Tunan to speak to the voice in the rat. Yes, I remember that. Then a Trial of the Archons. That's gaining evidence against both Archons. Okay. So, I think now we could travel immediately to the other spire. which is kind of what I want to do. I want to go see what else we got over there. 15 minutes. That's a good travel time. Also, it's a much quicker path to go see the voice of Nayrat, which is what I want to do next. So. So here are new people. Sadis, a thin, sinewy man, looks out to the horizon, legs firmly planted on the ground as he practices his strikes. His arms snap towards you, an invisible target in methodical fashion, alternating one after the other. He stops as you approach, an amused smirk on his face. And that, Fatebinder, is exactly what I advise you not to do. He laughs, punching the air again while adopting a cretinous expression. That may work when you've got 100 stone shields at your back, but someone like you thrives with a little more creativity. He stiffens up in mock formality, offering you the slightest of bows. That's where I come in, or so your generous sum of rings has led me to believe. No respect for the disfavored? On the contrary, I've all the respect and the tears for them. They just don't happen to care for it. He points towards the northern horizon. They're not fond of bastards, even if your mother happened to serve in the disfavored. My boyhood dreams were of joining the Legion and being cloaked in purple and iron, but now I spend my days dancing around fools that think a breastplate makes them a better fighter. He nods, satisfaction evident in his tone. I wouldn't have it any other way. And how should one fight? Iron and bronze are crutches for the unskilled, and honors the delusion of the foolish. Remember that, and use it ruthlessly to your advantage. I prefer to dance around my foes, tripping them with the weight of their own armor or stabbing them with their own blades. Even better, winning the fight before it starts. Walk around in my rags and seasoned warriors will hardly give you the second glance. Their years of training won't amount to much when their sword arm suddenly breaks, or when their balls have been compressed into fine paste. I can teach you all about making that fine paste. It may not grace the pages of a sage's chronicle, but it'll make you laugh at night when you're counting your rings and downing your ale. I'd like to train. Please train me in unarmed combat. A bunch of times. I'm getting up to the next level. There we go. I still have 9 trainable ranks at this level, so... God, I could train in so many things. Dodge? Okay. I think I'm happy with that. I could train Barrack and Parry and at least get him up a rank. I don't think there's anything useful for these two. Baasvik's now kind of going to be a wrecking crew. Baasvik also got a level. That's nice. Let's go with plus attack. Unarmed combat's at an 86. Which is pretty awesome. Dodge is at a 73. I'm feeling Baasvik right now. Not a huge fan of stances, but I've never used the blitz stance, but concentrated force, requirements Sunder. Requires 2 talent points spent in Power Tree, adds a stun effect to the Sunder ability. That's cool. Stuns are cool. That doesn't seem great. Increases damage with unarmed attack and allows basic attacks to strike multiple times. Unarmed Mastery 1. Yeah, heck yeah. Absolutely. Okay, let's talk to these other people. Fatebinder, come, take a look. The dirt-caked apex local gestures to an old box at his feet. I've got a beastman cub in here. Cross your arms and say nothing. Ah, you're not falling for that old peril, are you? He waves you off and loses some of his easygoing demeanor. Revos at your service. I've come into possession of some items that might be of interest. I'll take a look. Or are they stolen? At first he seems about ready to spout off a hasty answer, but he pauses and reconsiders. No. No, in the sense that they aren't stolen, but yes, in the sense that I'm not entirely, he coughs into his fist, licensed. And we know, among other things, Kairos' law of quota and sharing meticulously regulates tradable goods. Permits are issued to deserving merchants on an annual basis, but their allowances circulate by a design known only to Kairos and Tunan. A former wool peddler may be restricted to selling only copper, and in the subsequent year, trade fresh vegetables. Yeah, we've read that before. But wait. He puts his hands up. Before you throw me into Tunan's dungeon, or worse, consider this. He spreads his arms and turns in a circle. We aren't standing on Terratus. We're standing high above any citizen who is subject to the Overlord's law. And this place couldn't possibly be subject to the same rules that govern down there. He stamps his foot and points to the land below. Don't presume to understand Kairos' will. I need to consider the legalities. In the meantime, I'll take a look at your goods. Yeah. Ooh, I could get better Fatebinder armor. We have some stuff we could trade with him as well. So, any weapons? I don't think so. Oh yeah, that forge-bound hammer we can get rid of. Anything in the party stash we want to get rid of? No, those are all fine. Got some potions and such. And scrolls. Are these consumable? I don't understand these exactly. Huh. I'll have to look at those. I might go to the spell crafting screen after this. Nothing in armor. We probably have something in here. Yeah. A little bit of extra money. Wait, I feel like that sent my money down. Am I wrong? What the heck? Am I... Wait, what? Or is that his money? No, I think that's my money. Okay, now I'm confused. Very confused. I thought I had like 30 marks. Well, oh well. Ooh, we could talk to Lantry again. There's verse.
What do you need?
Okay. Okay, I gotta end it right now. But we'll come back for some more conversations and stuff next time on another edition of P Plays Tyranny. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out our website, indiegamestraaa.com. Subscribe to our podcast, Mandate Radio. And check out my other channel, Baasvik Reviews, where I review games like Tyranny and others for fun. So, yeah, thanks so much for watching. I will see you next time on another edition of P Plays Tyranny.